Hey, I'm JK Dowdle for jkdowdle.com, and inside this video, I want to talk to you about the 22 million people who own this small little piece of plastic and how it can make a big difference in your branding and your content marketing next year. So let's talk about this little piece of black plastic and exactly what it does. Well, it's called a Roku, and I actually have 3 of these in my own home because I love these little guys and what they do. You can basically connect this guy through any HDMI cable to any TV that you want, and it will turn it into a smart TV. Now, what this is really helpful at doing is actually getting you access on any TV to any online content that you like. So by using this on a dumb TV, I'm actually able to get access to Netflix, YouTube, TED Talks, Vivo, and a whole bunch of movie channels that I wouldn't have access to. It does this for a one-time fee of $50. You can pick it up in Best Buy, Amazon, eBay. There's a bunch of places that sell them, and there's no monthly fees or anything like that. They're very, very easy to set up. They're pretty much idiot-proof, and as long as you have a wireless internet connection, you're able to have one of these in your home and get access to Netflix in about 5 minutes or so. So how is this actually going to help, and why should you care? Well, at the start of the video, I mentioned that there's about 22 million people who are using a Roku. Now that's according to Roku themselves, and they say that that's the amount of monthly active users there are at this moment inside of 2018. Now that is a really impressive number. That's a lot of users, but what's even more impressive is how quickly Roku is growing. They're adding about 40% year over year of their monthly active users. So 5 years from now, we could be looking at close to 50 million, if not more, of these little black boxes in people's homes. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is that people actually use these a lot. The average monthly user is streaming about 50 hours of content per month, and the average account is estimated to have about 2 people watching within a household. So that's over 40 million individual people who are accessing content on this small little black box. And that really brings us to TV Boss. It's a software that allows you to create your own channel. And inside this video, I'm gonna go through a review of the software, the sales page, some of the promises, and kind of get over some of the hype and see if this is really something that you should care about. Now, I've played with the TV Boss software pretty extensively over the past week, and as someone who is a dedicated Roku user and uses it basically every single day, I was really interested in the ability to get my own content inside of this little box and have it show up next to Netflix and TED Talks and things like that. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to give you a short condensed summary. The software definitely works, and I'm able to get content on here without much of a problem. There are some things that I'm a little unhappy with in terms of how the software works and some of the promises that the sales page makes, so that's what I'm going to cover in this video. So let's go ahead and start off by talking about the sales page itself. This is what it looks like if you decide to go and take a look at if TV Boss is the right product for you. And you'll notice at the top here, they have a headline. Tap into a secret video traffic portal that's pulling in 8,500 subscribers in every 11 days and stuff $25,000 into our pockets. Now, this headline kind of sums up the main issue that I have with the TV Boss sales page. The software that they're selling definitely works. However, if you're spent any amount of time inside the internet marketing niche or marketing in general, you probably have a different definition of what the word subscribers means. Now, for me, in my business, if someone says I have 8,500 subscribers and there's no context around that, I generally take that to mean email subscribers, or it could be chatbot messenger subscribers or something like that. What they mean on the sales page, anytime they say the word subscribers, they're referring specifically to installations of their channel on a Roku device. Now, that's not to say that it's incredibly misleading. Having 8,500 installs of a channel that you're able to communicate with your target market through on this little device is still actually really, really impressive. But it's worth pointing out, if you're taking a look at the sales page and maybe you've come to this video to see a review of the software and how it all works, then it's important to point out that when they're saying subscribers anywhere on this page, they're not referring to email subscribers. They're talking about actual email, actual installations of their channels inside of these actual little Roku boxes. Now, the other thing to point out here is that this sales page talks an awful lot about how much money you're potentially able to make from your channel. Now, the cool thing is, once you have your channel installed on a Roku, when someone actually goes and starts viewing your content, you are actually able to monetize the content directly with Roku. Kind of like what you'd see with YouTube, how you're able to have those videos play those advertisements at the start of the video or in the middle of the video. Roku lets you do the same thing. They actually have their own advertiser platform, and they will pay you to run advertising on your content. Now, I haven't looked into that because the process of actually going and doing the application and getting approved can take quite a while. Not dissimilar to AdSense, it can take a few weeks, it could even take a few months to get approved. So that's not really what I'm interested in doing with the Roku or with the TV Boss software. What I'm mostly interested in is using it as a content marketing tool. So I drive a lot of traffic from Facebook to different squeeze pages and landing pages, and what I think is really, really cool with this software is that I'm actually going to be able to deliver a lead magnet both in a PDF version, a video version, but also I can give them a link to my Roku channel. They can then go and download it and actually watch it on their smart TV. And that is something that adds a lot of credibility to my brand. It adds a lot of authority. And I kind of equate it to a more modern techie version of having a self-published book. Anybody is able to go and write a book and self-publish it. It doesn't even have to be any good. But when you add something to a Roku, it has a little bit of mystique to it. It's not something that you see all the time. It's not something that you hear of all the time. And if you were, say, an offline consultant and you gave someone a business card that had a link that they could enter really, really quickly, it's just entering in like JKTV is my channel, they would just enter that in from reading it on a business card and they would be able to watch your content on their Roku. That makes you seem a lot bigger than you are. And I think that's really where the power of this software comes in. So that being said, let's go through the sales page in a little bit more detail, but those are my two main gripes on here. They talk mostly about how to monetize the channel, how much money you could make, and while that's all well and good, they have a lot of case studies proving how much money they've actually made here. I really think the value in this software and in getting content on here is using it as a content marketing platform. So again, anytime you see subscribers, remember, they're not talking about email subscribers or chatbot messenger subscribers. They're talking about actual installations of the channel. And the fact that they were able to get 8,500 in 11 days is really impressive. This is a very active network of people who go onto Roku and search for different things. And you can actually take a look here at some of the statistics for the channel. They put them right out on the sales page. It's very transparent. They said here that they were able to get 136,000 installations of this guitar school channel. And I actually went and downloaded this channel, and it's basically just a bunch of videos teaching you how to play guitar. I wouldn't have thought that there was a big market for that, but 136,000 installations and a lot of daily viewers indicates that people want to learn and consume this content on their Roku. And it kind of makes sense. I've tried to learn guitar before, and watching it on a TV would actually make it a lot easier. There's also dog channels here that they put together. They put together a channel teaching you how to play chess. You can put together a channel basically in any niche that you want. Now I'm going to come back to how you would do that and some of the shortfalls that the software and the training actually has here. But for the moment, let me just say that the sales page itself looks really good. There's nothing on here that's incredibly misleading or any type of big lie that you should be concerned about. I just wish that they were a little bit more transparent about the word subscribers. It doesn't mean what I typically would interpret subscribers to mean. And if you're watching this, chances are you probably see the word subscribers and you think it means the same thing I do. Email subscribers or chatbot messenger subscribers or something like that. So that's basically the sales page itself. What I want to do is take you inside the actual members area and show you what that looks like if you decide to pick up the course. So once you get inside the members area here, you're going to have your first tab at the top, and right away that's where you go and download the software. You go and download TV Boss here. You're also able to download any upgrades from here. There's a Facebook group that you can go and join, but it's not terribly active, to be honest. And also, I can't really think of many reasons why you need to go and use it. Roku actually has their own developers forum where you can ask a bunch of very technical questions, and that's an incredibly active forum to be a member of. As you go through the rest of the content sliders over here on the left, you'll see that they'll give you a pretty detailed explanation of how to install the software. They'll go through and explain some of the things that you need to have in order to make the software work. There's really not much here. Inside this video, they talk about how to add your channel. Inside here, they talk about how to actually put your feed together, and your feed is basically a JSON file that you would load into the Roku channel. That's what the software does. It creates a JSON file. I'll show you how that looks in just a second here. The branding here is how to create your logos for your channels. That's really, really helpful to have. And then they go in and talk about how to lay out your channel and stuff like that. They cover all the basics of setting up a channel, but there are a couple of shortfalls in the training. They don't really talk to you about how to create content inside of your channel. So if you're not sure about what kind of content you'd want to use, there isn't much inside the training that's going to teach you how to make your own content. So that's a big shortfall that I find inside of the course here. The other thing is that they don't really talk to you too much about how to get your video, how to get your channel out there. So if you wanted to put together, say, a chess channel, if you were to just follow what you see inside the video here, you're pretty much just relying on people to search inside of the Roku for chess channels and then hoping that your channel would come up. there's not a lot in here to actually talk about marketing your channel to the masses. So that's a little bit something that I find is a little bit lacking inside the course here. Now, having said that though, once you go through the course, you're going to want to jump in and start playing with the software. And I have it actually brought up here. It's very, very easy to use. It's kind of idiot proof, really. Everything is very clearly explained in terms of what you need to do. And if I were to put a video on my channel, I would just use this interface. It's what you see is what you get. So in here, you type in the video ID. This is basically the inside name of your video. They all want to be unique. You'd put in your video title, a description, a genre. You'd put in some tags, which are basically keywords. So if I was targeting the weight loss niche, I would put in here, lose weight fast, lose tummy fat, that kind of thing. Down here then, I would actually put in how long my video is. I'd put in a link to the video, I'd put in the bitrate of the video, and I'd put in a thumbnail of the video. And that's basically it. It then goes and generates a JSON file here for you. And when you click on Save Changes, it basically gets pushed out to your server. And at that point, you're pretty much done. It's not very difficult to put together. And I think for $37, this software makes it very, very painless in order to get a really comprehensive channel built in not very much time at all. Now, the thing that I mentioned there, which I'll go back to, which is really important, is that there is a lack of content in the members area to teach you how to put together your content. And I do want to go back to one thing that they mentioned inside the members area here. Under the prerequisites, I'm sure it's a question a lot of you are probably asking yourselves right now. If you want to use this software, do you have to own your own Roku? Well, according to what they say inside the training, you need to own your own Roku in order to actually use this training. That's not technically true. You can actually go and set up your own channel without having ever laid fingers on a Roku ever. Even if you've never seen one in the flesh before, you don't need to have one to use. It is recommended that you get one just because, number one, it's a very cool tool to have in your house if you don't have a smart TV. And the other thing to keep in mind as well is that when you're putting your channel together, it's really easy to just fire up your TV, test it, and see how it all looks. However, let me make it clear, you do not need to own a Roku if you want to put together a Roku channel. You can do everything you want basically using the software and the training that they give you. So they do say it's a prerequisite, but it's not entirely required. One thing that is going to be required, and this is a major shortfall of the actual course itself, is that you need to have some sort of video streaming service. You can't use YouTube videos and put them onto your Roku channel. Now, what they recommend that you do is go and sign up for a Vimeo Pro account, which is about $200 US per year. And that's pretty expensive. They don't mention that on the sales page. However, included in my bonuses is a way that you're able to skip that big expense and actually stream all of your content for literally pennies. I've been using this service for a long time, and last month alone, I streamed over 60 gigabytes of video data and spent only $5. This service is completely pay as you go, and if you don't use it, you're not going to pay for it. So even if you put together a channel and you find that it's just not for you, you're not getting any viewers, you'll never pay a penny to stream the content. It works totally flawlessly. My channel is built using it, and I'm going to include a software and video tutorial to show you how to use that streaming service so you don't have to use Vimeo Pro or anything like that. Now, the other bonuses that I'm going to include for you are content curation. That was another thing that I thought was really missing inside the members area. They don't tell you how to get your own content, how to add it onto the channel or anything like that. So I'm actually going to take you through a content curation training, and I'm going to show you how to put together your own videos and how you don't even have to appear on camera whatsoever. So if it's not your content, I'll show you how to curate it ethically, make sure that you're actually following all the rules that you need to follow, and how to actually get that content loaded onto your Roku channel. And the final bonus that I'm going to include is actually going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 actually, 8 of these videos that you see at the top of the training area and condense it into one turbo walkthrough. So I'm actually going to walk you through some of the nuances that I found after going through the software. I've actually used it myself, and there's a couple things I thought could have been explained a little bit better. So I want to walk you through one single video that's going to take you through how to install the software, how to get the software set up, how to get your channel set up, and ultimately walk you through the entire process until you need to go and put the content onto your video. So it's kind of a turbo walkthrough to take you to getting your first channel set up in 30 minutes or less. It's actually a very, very simple process, and I think that video is going to help you a lot. Now, that being said, if you're considering buying this, I'm sure you're asking questions about the sales funnel. If you buy TV Boss, are you going to be offered any upsells? Well, the truth is, yes, you are going to be offered some upsells, but there really isn't too many to choose from. So when you're on the sales page, you're going to have two choices of what you can buy. You can buy a single channel license, which was, as you guessed, will give you one channel, and that's going to cost you $37. It's a one-time payment. There's no monthly fees or anything like that. If you want to have multiple channels, you would pay $57, and again, same thing, you're able to have as many channels as you want, no monthly fees or anything like that. Now there are 2 OTOs, there's no downsells. If you want to pick up the upsells, you can. If not, you don't need to. If you wanted to become an agency user and actually charge people to set up other channels for them, like maybe you want to set up a Fiverr gig, you want to set up a freelancer gig and charge $100 or $200 to set up a channel, that's pretty cool. You're able to do that. If that's something you want to do, that's $67. And if you want to purchase white label rights, which will basically take off all of the TV Boss branding and put your branding on there, that's going to be $147. That's really it. There's no downsells to that. If you want to get really in-depth into setting up channels, that's probably a pretty good way to go. But if you just want to set up your own channel, probably the single channel license is really all that you're going to need. And if you already have lots of gears turning and you want to set up multiple channels, then pick up the multi-channel license for yourself. And that really sums up all the content that you would need to do to make your decision as to whether or not TV Boss is right for you. I really think this is a very cool software, and it's a very cool way to put my content on a device that I actually use every single day. It's really, really exciting to see your branding, your name, your videos next to an icon for Netflix or YouTube or TED Talks. And just thinking about the possibilities gets me really, really excited. So I think for $37 to have access to this in your toolkit is actually pretty nifty, and it's something that I would happily recommend, which is why I decided to make this review and put a lot of effort into my bonuses. Go ahead and click the link down below to pick up your copy of TV Boss, and I'll see your channel on Side Roku.